Will be inviting on stage shortly our dragons, who are going to receive 4 individual pitches from these companies with samples attached, and hopefully we'll get a chance to share them with the audience. There'll be a 5-minute presentation by each of the companies, a 5-minute Q&A by our dragons, and after we've finished the final company, the dragons will retire shortly, deliberate, and come back. So I'd like to welcome on stage our dragons. In the order that I see them first, so Conor Lucy from Applegreen. Come on stage with Conor. Thank you. Alison Cowser, a dragon from a different era. Brian Lee. And finally, Colm O'Sullivan. So each of our lines has been briefed on the companies. So they will have some questions. So it's not totally blind. And they got our information earlier this week. And it now gives me great pleasure to introduce our first candidate. It's a company called Just Add, Patricia Darcy.
I'm Patricia Darcy, owner and director of Just Add. Thank you for giving me this opportunity today, and to Bradley Brands for letting me pitch to the Dragons. So I launched this product, Just Add, into the market in May of this year. My husband and I set up Exciting Foods. So our mission is to create a convenient, healthy, nutritious and flavoursome meal solution for busy consumers. So Just Add is a fresh, pre-cooked mix of veggies, 13 ingredients, and you add it to your eggs to make an omelette. It's also totally versatile, so you can have it on pasta or chicken, rice, potatoes on a cracker with cheese. It's really versatile. So we recognised 4 main trends: health, convenience, protein, and egg consumption. So we spotted a gap in the market where there was a need for a product that's wholesome, nutritious, flavoursome, but also very quick to prepare for really busy customers. My inspiration is my mum. I grew up on really healthy, home-cooked food, and she had her own food business and was able to kind of juggle being with us at the school and running her own business. So far, I haven't seen any more of my kids since setting up my own business, but hopefully it'll peter out and I'll get to see them a bit more. So we did a bunch of research before launching. We did the Marley Park Market, which was really beneficial. For 9 weeks in the winter, we were serving omelettes, and we were called Exciting at that stage. And it was great to see customers coming back week after week, repeat purchasing, really liking the different flavours that were in our product, and commenting on how healthy and convenient it was as we told them about our plan to launch in retail. We did research on protein intake and egg consumption through food diaries and an omnibus survey. We also did towards our launch, focus groups via Enterprise Ireland with our innovation voucher up in Sligo, and we just tested the look and feel of our packaging. Did you get Lucy has the packs there for you to hold and see. So we wanted to make sure that because it was an innovative new product, that consumers understood what exactly it was. So we came to the new name Just Add, also not to polarize people who didn't like eggs, and also to have omelette filler written on it so that it was really clear what exactly it was. But it is versatile, and I talk about that on the inside of the pack, and I lead people to our website for recipe ideas and also post a lot of different ideas to use it on social media. So there's 3 variants, as you can see. There's Mexican, leafy greens, and Mediterranean. Each of them have a base of sweet peppers, onions, and tomatoes, and garlic. The Mediterranean has capers and olives. Mexican, black beans, coriander, and a spice. And the leafy greens, broccoli, crunchy kale, spinach, and a little hint of balsamic to sweeten it. We outsourced our manufacturing to Rustic Kitchen, and since launch in the 22nd of May, we've sold over 4,000 pots in store. So that's about 200 per week. So it's going really well, and we're really happy with sales. And our new plan now is to increase the number of stores and to get a distributor on board. So we've contacted Europa Foods and spoken to them. We've pitched to Tesco, who are happy to take us in 50 stores at the front of store, and then Europa Europa Foods are going to help us get a listing for 25 stores in Duns, keep our 25 stores in Super Value, and then about 10 independents. So the plan is to be in about 100 stores by Christmas, and plan to sell 800 pots per week. So our total sales to date are 11,884, and our costs are 7,507, which is packaging and manufacturing. I've just taken into account for that. So the idea of getting more stores is to scale our product and to be able to get a better manufacturing price. So at the moment, our manufacturing price is a little bit high, and we're trying to work on getting that down. So to finish up, what's unique and great about Just Add? Well, it's a convenient, fresh, wholesome meal, ready in 3 minutes. It's high-protein meal solution and a new exciting way to eat eggs. It's gluten-free, it's no added sugar, no additives or preservatives, low in salt, 1 of your 5 a day, and it #makes a meal of it, which is what we lead on our social media. So our plan is to be the #1 egg accompaniment product in Europe by next year. Thank you.
Well done, thanks very much. No, stay where you are because you're going to get questions, if you don't mind. So, Alison, would you like to go first? Oh, microphone, sorry. No, I've one here. Sorry,
Thanks, Patricia. Clearly, you've identified a market need. Is it specific to eggs, or do you see it as being viable across other usage occasions?
Yeah, so when we launched, that was, we didn't want to be like a Me Too product, and we saw the gap in the market with people eating like 13, 14 eggs a week and kind of looking for new ways to eat eggs. And that's what I've found since doing all the tastings in store too. People are like, the minute they see eggs, they nearly stop and go, what's this? You know, so we although it is an egg accompaniment product and an omelette filler first and foremost, but it's also versatile. So I don't want to miss out on, it also serves 3 that pack. So some people might have an omelette one night and then throw the rest over pasta the second night. So it is a little bit both, but it leads as being an omelette filler and an accompaniment to eggs. Thank you.
Love the product. You mentioned that you changed the name of the product on your journey. What was the reason behind that?
So we started off with Eggciting, and that's the name of our company. But we did find at the market that a lot of people are either allergic or don't like eggs, or don't like actually omelettes, as in the consistency of them. They eat eggs, but they don't eat omelettes. So we didn't want to polarize people who didn't like eggs from purchasing our product. So we decided on Just Add. Yeah.
And is there any similar products on the market in Ireland and the UK that you can compare to?
I think the most similar at the moment is the Cool Beans, because it's an accompaniment product. I would, like at the moment I'm stocked in the Food Academy in Super Value, but I'm also stocked in a number, about kind of 50% of the stores also on the shelf, which actually sells better than the Food Academy because more people shop it. So I'm finding putting it beside like Dee's and Cool Beans and those Cully and Sully hot pots and those kind of things. Obviously doesn't sell as well as them.
Well done. I think it's a fantastic product.
Thank you.
What's the recommended retail price
So
on
it's $3.95
For
and it's
200
200 grams. Yeah, the leafy greens is actually 180 grams. So yeah, it's interesting you asked that because it's $3.95 and we are thinking of making the pot smaller, so making it 100 grams and making it $2.95. So that's something we're looking at the moment, just because it's an easier price to sell and it would make our manufacturing price lower.
But why does it need to be so expensive? So if you take it, I mean, it's essentially the same as a soup. It's nearly twice the price. Could you make it cheaper and make it easier for people to buy it?
Well, that is how I'm going to do it, because the ingredients are very expensive. So sweet peppers, olives, capers, black beans, coriander, they're all very expensive items. So my manufacturing price is what's putting up my price. So that's how I was thinking of getting around that.
And what's the shelf life?
Shelf life is good. It's 28 days.
Okay.
And there's no additives or preservatives. It's just heated to 90 degrees and then sealed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And what's the cook time?
Oh, I'm not sure of that.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Actually,
no, well done. It's brilliant.
yeah.
I think it's a really, really interesting area that you're in. Well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, well done, Patricia. Very unique product. I suppose the one thing for me is, and I get the bit about egg accompaniment and that, but just omelettes, quite often tends to be sort of unplanned, sort of. You don't go out sort of to the shop thinking I'm going to have an omelette tonight. A lot of it tends to be sort of reactive when you're at home, So I'm just wondering how you sort of create your space, within the retail environment, because it's sort of a fairly niche, unique offer. So in a busy retail environment, how are you going to shout loud enough, really, where the customer will see you and they'll understand what your product is, because omelette filler to me is a complete new concept.
And that's what we've identified. We've identified that it is actually a need that is unmet, but that consumers don't actually know they have it. So when you try Just Add and you have it, I'm tasting pretty much every day in the supermarket, and I'm finding kind of nearly 1 in 2 is stopping and tasting it and liking it. So it's kind of changing the perception of omelettes, that they're not just the leftovers in your fridge and they're stodgy cheese and ham omelette, the onion is uncooked, and to change it into actually a meal that you'd enjoy, and it's light and flavoursome, and it's quite different to kind of a traditional omelette. So I suppose it's changing the mindset a little bit and getting the word out there, and on social media, we've gotten great awareness up on the product.
Yeah, obviously social media is huge, but in terms of your market research, you said you were at Marley Park and you did various other research, and what were the learnings from that? What were the key learnings that came back from that then you incorporated in the development of the product?
Yeah, well, the 4 kind of convenience, health, protein, eggs, they were kind of the key things that we were looking out for, and people did really want to try the product and liked the flavour of it. So I suppose testing it on total strangers in Marley Park was a great way to start, and having them repeat purchase.
Okay, Dragons, are we all done? Great, thank you very much.
Thank
well
you.
done. Thanks, Patricia, well done. Okay, our next contestant is the Happy Food Company.
All right, so I'm Connor. This is Colin. We're the co-founders of Happy Food Co. So 6 years ago, I did my Leaving Cert and decided it was time to make my mammy proud and become a Trinner's boy, study engineering. And 6 weeks in, I realised it was a drastic mistake, and it was not for me. But as the mastermind saying is, I started, so I'll have to finish. So I realised I'd have to come up with a game plan to get through the 4 years. So it was 1, do the continuous assessment, 2, leave the lectures behind, and then 3, the week before exams, come in, try predict what was coming up, put every egg in that basket, and hope to God I passed. So thanks be to God, many a candle was lit, but I happened to pass each year. But they really were all Pyrrhic victories. Because at the end of each year, those 3 weeks, it was nothing but Red Bull, late nights, and a diet that if my mother ever found out, it would be sure to bring a tear to her eye. And I was in bits. And it was the final year with the addition of the thesis that really just snookered me. So it was then I decided it was time to do a complete overhaul, a complete U-turn on the diet. Hopped in the car, drove down to Lidl, bought my first bag of kale, my first box of 25 blueberries for €4. I bought it all the rabbit food, all the chicken, all the steaks. Brought it home, crammed it into the fridge, forced it into the freezer, and 2 days later, half of it was already gone off and I was throwing it all away. And with the other half, I just didn't want to put the time into cooking it. I tried it for 2 days. I can't really cook, so it did not work out well. So then after that summer, I was still in bits and I realised something even bigger was going to have to get done. That's when I decided to rope in my good old friend Colin, who also happens to be the greatest chef I know, and start to build the biggest food company that also happens to be healthy in the world. So here you go, Colin.
Okay, that was a bit dramatic. But
Yes.
what we did was I had been cooking for myself through college, but cooking through for the family as well. And then I had started weight training in 3rd year, so I started to prepare my meals. And I realized that was how you could achieve your goals, was by preparing your meals ahead. As they say, plan ahead, or I don't know what the phrase is. Fail to prepare to fail. Exactly. So we came together and we created this company that would prepare meals ahead. We'd deliver them chilled to customers 3 times a week, so they're nice and fresh. And and we've been pretty successful at it so far. We've been going 15 months. We've made over €150,000 in sales. We've made over 15,000 meals or so. And yeah, it's been going pretty well so far. So what we decided with our menu was that we had to marry the two sides, which was, as we call it, nutritious and delicious. So it was a way of getting the Connors of this world to eat healthy food. Was you had to make it as tasty as possible. So we really tried to balance the two, and that's what we've done with our menu. We have a wide range of meals, snacks, drinks, and breakfast and all sorts of stuff. All the good stuff.
So from the beginning, though, we decided that everything we'd make was from scratch. All the sauces, all the spices. We have our own unique drinks, snacks, brekkies. Everything is unique and to our own. And also from the beginning, we've been trying to portray, kind of build a brand that people would associate with a premium, high-quality food. And through our customer retention, our word of mouth, and our growing positive social media, we think we're kind of on the right track. So that's when we've decided that we're going to start slowly now releasing our own individual products to market, from the likes of sauces to snacks and that type of thing. And come Halloween, we're actually in the middle of developing a product now with Holly Carpenter and Sophie Kavanagh, so you should hopefully see that in come Halloween time. And seeing how that goes, hopefully then you'll see a lot more of our products on your shelves and hopefully in a couple of your fridges and presses at home. So thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed the snacks. Sorry you didn't get any, but maybe next time. Cheers.
Connor, why don't you
Yeah.
go off? Yeah.
Yeah, well done, guys. What I can say is the name of the company is well suited to the personality in here, so well done. Yeah, can just what is the basic cost
Local
of
kitchen
a
snacks.
meal?
Basic cost of a meal is roughly €3. It depends. Some are obviously, some will be higher, but our average meal cost is €2.50 to €3.
And what's the delivered cost of?
So it depends on, because we sell on meal plan basis, but it ranges from €9 to €7.
Right, and the delivery cost within that then?
The delivery cost is within that.
Right, but what's the delivery cost
Oh, it's-
to you?
I actually couldn't calculate.
It's just, I know it's a tough business to be in, the food delivery business, and by the time you add in cost of delivery, and I'm just very interested in terms of the sustainability of the model and the growth and all that, and how you're managing that side of it, yeah.
Well, that's why we're actually kind of putting a lot of effort into corporate sales as well, because once you kind of, the more boxes to one delivery is kind of suiting us best.
Yeah.
So we're trying to deliver to big gyms. We do individual homes as well, but now we're pushing on. We're trying to do corporate deliveries.
And when you go into your menu, I can see that online you can. There's a lot of add-on options as you go through. And are you finding them? People are, selecting many add-on items on top of the base.
Yeah, we do. We get roughly, 1 and 2 customers is buying a couple of extras. And usually when you buy the 1 extra, your next week people are kind of buying 3 or 4 extras.
Okay.
So it kind of starts off with people trying to, because it is a commitment in itself to go towards a week, but as they're on it more, that's when the extras start getting bought.
And last question: is there much repeat business?
Yeah, we kind of have 4 different types of customers. Customer 4 is kind of buys it once and that's it. Customer 2 or 3 is kind of will buy the odd week every 2 months. Then we have the customers that buy 2 or 3 weeks every kind of 6 weeks. And then we have the customer that buys every week. And that customer is what brings in a lot of the other customers as well. That customer that buys every week.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Well done, guys. I'm really impressed that you've turned over 150 grand already.
Been a fun few months.
That's a real business.
It's keeping us
so
out of
well
trouble
done.
anyway.
Just wondering about the core of the business. Do you think it's about the delivery mechanism and the convenience of getting it to your door, or is it about the food? And how are you going to marry that with the idea of being just another food company on the shelf?
Yeah, so with us, we kind of truly believe that time is of the essence. And with us, you're not only saving time when you use us, but we're also giving you a better quality of time. Because hopefully if you're on the food, you'll have higher energy, you'll be up earlier. So it's kind of, you're getting great food, but you're also getting a better quality of time. So that's kind of what we're trying to marry. So that could be with the likes of the products. If we go into sauces and that type of thing, you are saving the time there, but it's also, a better quality of time as well. So that's kind of what we're trying to do.
Well done, lads, on your success so far.
Thank you.
How do you compete against the big players like Deliveroo in the market? It's an area that I know quite well, and Deliveroo have invested heavily, and other companies like this. So how do you get the customers to choose you over them?
Well, what we find, kind of when we've done the research, is with Deliveroo, a lot of the restaurants we've talked to, they're kind of outsourcing. Once you're outsourcing your delivery, once it's out that door, you don't know how the person is going to show up to the customer who bought it. So I think with us, when people buy our food, they know we're cooking it, they know we're boxing it, and they know we're bringing it right to their door. So I think that's what kind of separates us from the Deliveroo, because they're not representing where the food came from. So it's kind of a...
Yeah. And does that limit then your growth if you are going to have to deliver all the meals?
It does if we're going to be solely focusing on the individual to homes, but we do see we're getting more and more corporate sales, and then we want to start going into retail as well, from e-commerce, but also brick and mortar stores as well.
Yeah. Well, from my experience, I think that's where be the right angle to go towards the corporates,
Yeah.
and then focus on that, because there'll be more headaches going for the individual.
A lot of
than it's
doors
worth.
driving around, yeah. Yeah.
Well done, lads. Just who's your, outside of the corporates, but who's your target customer? Is it millennials or old people or middle-aged?
That's what's been very interesting, is that we've gotten customers from all demographics. We've had young professionals, new mums, we've had retirees, we have athletes. So that's why we're actually trying to now work with different influencers in different spaces, because it does fit a lot of people. So that's why we're trying to work, with different people that have their own kind of young professional, that type of
And
crowd.
are you just Dublin?
At the moment, we're just Dublin. A lot of people there, so we'll try and get them all fed
And
first.
what kind of size of market do you reckon is there for what you're doing?
In Dublin alone, it's a huge market. Now, there's 2 or 3 other companies as well. Well, there's 2 or 3 other companies in Dublin as well. But there's
Do you
just...
have any idea of the quantitatively what's the size, what's the value size of the market? Ballpark.
I'd be guessing, but it's definitely well over 1 million, because we're only 15 months now and we're already 6 figures, so it'd be well into the 7 figures for sure.
Oh, it is, yeah, definitely. Yeah, well done.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Our next candidate is the Local Juice Company.
My name's Stephen Connolly. I'm co-founder of the Local Kitchen Limited. With myself and my wife, started the business 3.5 years ago. So we started out as a local cafe in Castleknock. Previous to that, we were in the construction industry for about 9 years. We had a partnership together, myself and my wife. She's an interior architect, I'm an engineer originally. So we used kind of design experience and experience from fitting out cafes, restaurants, bars around Dublin City to kind of develop our own dream of opening up our cafe, which eventually happened 1 week after our firstborn was our first boy. So it was a crazy enough journey at the very beginning, but since then we've traded for 3.5 years. We've really focused on building a brand from there, just from a single location in Castleknock. From there, over the last 3 years, we've since kind of come out of the construction industry, and just last year we launched the juicing business as well from the Local Kitchen under the same brand. So we launched the Local Juicing Company. We started trading last June. We went through the Super Value Food Academy, which is a brilliant springboard for someone who has absolutely no experience in the industry and really no clue what they're doing, to really focus them, give them real basics of the whole retail industry. So we traded last year. We got into about 30 odd stockists by the end of the year last year in Super Value stores, Spar stores, independents. And since then, we've kind of adjusted the flavors, adjusted the labeling. We really used the last year to really trial and test. And now we've got 4 products in our range, which we think are extremely unique. And sales and stockists are growing. So I think the real USP of what we do is juice shots. It was kind of a light bulb moment for me when we were traveling I was with Yelp on a trip to San Francisco a few years ago, and all I wanted to do was hit the pavement and look at juice shops and health food cafes and see what the trends were over there, because they're about 1.5 years ahead of us. So I found nearly every juice shop had ginger shots or turmeric shots or really, really powerful, potent juice shots. So I came straight home. We had already had the juicing company plan in our mind. And from then, we knew exactly what we were going to do and what our USP was going to be. Since then, we've developed the full four in the range, but the 2 standouts are the ginger fire shot and our turmeric beet shot. So they're the real differentiation in the range. They're really developed to be like extremely potent, really powerful, memorable little shots of 60 ml pure cold pressed juice. So no sugar, no additives, just pure juice of fruit and veg. So our whole ethos is that healthy food is accessible to all. The main thing there just being accessible. Our plans for the juicing business is to be the go-to in retail for high footfall in particular, but for the whole of retail in the country, we want to be the go-to cold pressed juice that people know and love and want. Over the last year, just over a year since we launched, we've done fairly extensive research, and we've fed from Board Bia's library about the size of the market and potential markets for juicing. The standout is that people want natural, low sugar, non-processed foods, and that's just it's a natural kind of desire from every country in Europe, as you can see, but developing across the world. So the green parts here, that's kind of North America and Europe and Asia. They're really established as their consumers really wanting just natural whole foods as opposed to processed foods. So that's really what we're driving our business on. That's basically us. I'd love to take your questions.
Great.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, how's it going?
It's a very crowded market, the juice market.
It is.
And the winner of this gets a stand at the IFE in London. How will you make your product stand out amongst all the competition in the UK?
Well, in Ireland, obviously, our first and foremost is to get well established nationwide in Ireland. And in Ireland, we're the only ones doing juice shots across the country. And also at a price point even, and a quality. For example, our Ultimate Greens. For a 330ml juice, they're either a 500ml juice, which are maybe close to €6, or else a 250ml juice, which is per 100ml still kind of a more expensive product than ours. So we're really trying to differentiate ourselves in the larger bottles on price point, and obviously our USP in the juice shots is just a completely new product.
Yeah, they are a new product. I've never seen them before. And are they all HPP treated?
They are. Yeah. It wouldn't really be a sustainable business without HPP.
So the shelf life with them would be about 4 weeks, would it?
44 days from production. Yeah.
Okay. Well done.
Cheers, Brian.
Just on the HPP thing, surely at some stage customers are going to learn that their juice is 44 days old or whatever. Do you not see a kickback from that? I mean, I would rather not consume a juice that's 44 days old. I'd rather consume one that's 2 days old or made
Not at
that
all.
day.
Not at all. But the consumer's going to know straight off the bat because the date is stamped onto the top of the juice. I'd prefer not to drink a 44 kind of shelf life capacity juice either. But in saying that, I don't want to cut my veg and prep it and get up an hour earlier either to cold press it myself. So it's a balance between convenience and having this technology that is not damaging whatsoever to any of the fruits or veg in the juice. It's literally a natural process with no heat added.
And why don't you explain that process in your packaging or in your marketing?
We try to keep the packaging as simple as possible. There's only so much of a message you can get across to the consumer. So we wanted to get our brand across to the consumer and show what's in the bottle.
Just interested in your brand, the Low Cow.
Yeah.
So you're delivering an awful lot more in each juice bottle than a Low Cow drink. There's a lot of goodness, there's a lot of nutritional aspects in there, and a lot more value than simply a low-calorie drink.
True.
Is that the right brand now?
We didn't want to change our brand. That's really the bottom line. We started off as a cafe, and our original brand is the Local Kitchen. Our full logo, if you like, our full brand is an extremely striking brand. Too much to get onto a bottle. But we really wanted to continue on from the base that we've built from our kind of core HQ and the name that we've gotten locally with the Local Kitchen. We want to continue that on. So.
You're just looking at the prices here on your sheet. Are these the retail price I'm looking at per single unit, is it?
Yes.
So that's the 220ml bottle or whatever is $4.50, is it? Yeah.
So a 330ml bottle is $4.50.
Yeah. Okay. So what's if I'm a retailer, what's the retailer margin within that?
30%.
30%. Okay. But that's Yeah, okay. So that's probably thereabouts, I guess, yes. Just one thing for me, and it goes back what the guys are talking about. I mean, in retail, you know, I'm in the convenience sector. It's a small, I don't have a lot of room, you know, so it's, you know, I want to go
fight
with
for our space, yeah.
very tight for space. And I'm just trying to figure out, it's a great product. How does, you know, how do I sort of see your product, you know, sitting into my retail environment, small space, and you can shout loud enough that the customers get it, they understand it, and that they will buy it?
Besides sandwiches, as close to the till as possible, please. That's really it. It's really about getting. We're in the juicing business. We're an extremely small team. We have one sales guy and one marketing girl, both not full time. So it's really about spending time getting to know each retailer. It's a real hard slog at the start to get boots on the ground, to get the relationship with the individual retailers, i.e. the store managers, store owners, for them to want to sell your product. I'm sure they could get 30% off any other product either, but we really need the retailer to want to sell our product. So it's about relationships, really.
Yeah, and I suppose it's all about scalability then. If you need to get into several hundred sites, it's having the how do you support that then?
Absolutely,
and drive that on.
We need to begin with the highest footfall and highest concentration sites as possible. So we started in the city centre. We're in about 60 stores now. We're trying to just hit as many high footfall stores as possible to get our brand out there. We're in line to shift about 50,000 units this year. We did about 21,000 units last year. So we really, really know that people want and like our product. So it's really just about getting it out there and getting it scaled.
Any more questions?
Hello.
I'm sorry, if you go to the UK and you're very successful, have you registered the local name in the UK already? And if not, what would you do?
No, we've registered in Ireland, not in the UK. Please don't do that in 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, good luck.
The UK market is an extremely competitive market, as one of the guys said. So getting our foot in the door and having even the slightest bite of that would be a huge win for us in a year, or even a year and a half.
Hey, I just realized that you guys have a similar product to Innocent, which from the bottling, the packaging looks relatively the same. And their product range goes from 100 milliliter to 750 milliliters. And how do you want to differentiate your shots? What do you think is impeding them basically to serve the same product, or because you're differentiating basically to the shot size, right? And how you wanna go on that?
Thanks. So it's not necessarily just from the 60 ml size. It's really from the potency and the blast and the memorable flavor that you get, and also the benefits from the actual ingredients. For example, turmeric and beetroot is proven to increase endurance in elite athletes by up to 20%. There's a few studies done. It's amazing for blood oxygenation. And then the ginger fire shot, if you've got a head cold or anything like that, have a ginger fire shot and you will feel a little bit clearer. It's all about what's in the bottle, not necessarily the size of the mill.
Okay, our final contestant is Kevin Kennedy from Nua Dairy.
Health is something we are all invested in. It dictates our day-to-day food choices and the lifestyles trends that we follow. Unfortunately, food is health, or health is failing. Cardiovascular disease is still the largest killer, and we're reaching epidemic proportions of obesity and diabetes. Now, we are not the only things that are sick. The planet is also suffering. There are 2 billion hectares of degraded soil reaching from the Midwest, the middle of America, through Europe, into Northern Africa and across into Eurasia. These soils have very low levels of life. These soils are, in the words of Gabe Brown, naked, hungry, and thirsty. I put together a company to tackle this challenge, which is known as the Diet, Health, Environment Trilemma. This is the team. My own name is Kevin Kennedy. I have 15 to 16 years of business experience running my own businesses. The last 8 years I've been involved in the health and fitness industry, running a gym in Cork called CrossFit Cork. Kathy Barry is my co-founder. She is a chartered accountant with an MBA, and her experience spans from working in youth organizations through to construction and all the way to Abbott Vascular in Switzerland. John on the far side. John is our operations officer, our newest member of our team. John's experiences in computer science, he also holds an MBA, and his business experience is getting products finished on time. We are using the world's most advanced soil remediation and food production system, a method we have called Project Daisy. Daisy is the cow. Daisy the cow has an amazing potential to revitalize soils, to increase fertility, to increase water holding capacity, to change weather patterns, to bring back life. And in doing so, Daisy produces amazingly nutritious food. This food we then take as a company, Anu Dairy, we produce it products. Our first product we brought to market in June of this year, it is a butter rich in a vitamin called K2. K2 is a vitamin that acts like a traffic cop. So it takes calcium and directs it away from your arteries and moves it where it needs to be in your bones. So it is a healthy butter for guilt-free enjoyment. We brought ourselves to the Food Academy in Cork, successfully launched in Kinsale and Clonakilty and a lot of the smaller stores. We did a trial run to test customer feedback, and we sold out our first batch of products in 4 weeks. Our market that we chase is the German market primarily. The Germans spent 70 million euro last year on organic butter. They imported the largest amount of butter that we export, which is 35,000 tons, and they have no Irish organic butter to buy. We see that as white space. Anu Dairy's product, the butter, makes a great company, and it makes a great product, and it tells a beautiful story, but it doesn't make a great business. For us to be successful, we need to develop two other products. We need to develop a high-protein, low-carb yogurt, and we develop a sour probiotic drink. Both of these are from our raw material, and will be developed later on this year. Thank you for your attention. Any questions, please?
Just one question for me. I think it's a great story, and obviously butter is very much on trend as well at the moment. But you know, I think the challenge is, especially when you go to Germany, trying to tell your story. You know, how do you tell the story about your product, where it's coming from? I mean, tell them about Project Daisy and all that. How are you going to communicate that to the consumer, either here or in Germany? How you know that's you know.
Yeah, great question. Great question. What we're doing is we actually have started developed with another company blockchain technology in our product. So with the blockchain technology, each individual pack will carry a QR code. The consumer then, especially younger generations, are able to scan that QR code, and they can see everything that we put on the block. So the blockchain, for those who don't know, is like a Lego brick system. When we take milk from the farmer, we log it on the chain. When it goes to our processing facility, we log it on the chain. So when the consumer checks the pack, they can see all the way back to who that producer was. And right now, the German market is very, very interested in grass-fed products, specifically products that are free of glyphosate. That's a general concern at the minute in the German market. So we'll be able to, one, authenticate and add trust both to our distributors and our end users.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm a big fan of butter. I think it's a fantastic ingredient. We put it in all our biscuits. And it's definitely back on trend. Butter is back as an ingredient, but also as something that to put on bread or whatever. But just to understand a bit more about the process. So the vast majority of the Irish herd is grass-fed, supplemented by some seasonal nuts or whatever to supplement their diet. And I know Board B are working on this whole area of promoting grass-fed as an additional benefit to Irish dairy products. What are you offering that's different in terms of the grass-fed piece? Is your process different again, more enhanced?
Sure, yes, it is. We use what's called regenerative agriculture. So we change the grazing practice for how the cow moves on the land. It's different to what Teagasc would advise at the minute. The benefit of that is that we are looking to drive roots deeper into the soil. So to be a bit sciencey, at the minute they kind of only talk about what's in the top 30 centimetres of soil when it comes to carbon and microbiome activity. We change how the cow grazes to drive roots down in 2 metres deep. And that lets us sequester carbon down to 2 metres. So we are aiming to become a carbon negative food production company. So it's all about driving roots deeper, deeper, deeper into the soil. And then that then aerates the soil, and that activates soil microbiome. So we have a soil microbiome arm that analyzes how healthy our soils are and releases nutrients, so obviously we have no chemical inputs.
Okay, so that sounds like a whole new business, a whole new process, a whole new farming system. So are you currently scalable, or are you looking at a big, broad project that's going to take a long time to deliver actual product at a scale that can look to that German market?
Yeah, I think we have, if we realize the potential on all of our streams coming off of our raw product, which we have 4 products. We have butter, buttermilk, we have our yogurt, and we have our whey probiotic drink. Then for 3 farmers, we have about 3 million worth of revenue. So we would like to scale to 10 farmers. There's 40 organic farmers in Ireland, but there's 300 in the UK. So again, there's a white space. There's a bit of an issue to be in the organic farming. That's a longer conversation. But there's a lot of farmers converting across that we would like to capture.
Well done, Kevin. Great product and brand. You mentioned you have other products that you're working on, yogurt and stuff like that. Is this something that you're looking to bring into the German and UK market as well?
Very much so. I think that at the minute the only the skyr yogurt is kind of what we're modeling ourselves on, because skyr is able to sell itself as a low carb, and the rise of low carb and fasting and keto. At the minute, MS Iceland Dairies, they export all of their product globally. Now, it's quite cost prohibitive, but they are still doing it, so I feel that we can be as competitive as them in getting our product into the German and UK markets.
You have a great USP being the only Irish organic butter, but will you be able to use that USP when you go abroad? Will you be the only organic butter in them countries?
No, we won't be the only organic butter in Germany, because the Germans spent 70 million last year on organic butter. Yeah. And there is a wide range, and we have that full listing, luckily, from Board B.
Yeah. So will you mean you need a new USP for those?
So our USP at the minute is, we have 2 USPs. One is the vitamin K2. Now that is quite a limited supply because that's quite hard to make. But the second one will be the soil regeneration practices and connecting what we do with a healthy soil with the consumer. No other. At the minute, if you look at the European market, it's very old. It's very old school. It's pretty much a cow on a box, and that's it. So we have an advantage.
Wish you well. It's a great product.
Hi, Kevin. Well done. Love the packaging, love the product, and love the idea. I think what you're doing is great. But just the one question for me is, your €2.50 for 100 grams of butter. If I buy a pound of butter, which is 454 grams, how much is that again? Is it it's about $2.50 as well? Isn't it?
If it's Kerrygold, it's $2.95.
$2.95. So you're pretty much 4 times more expensive. So generally, I mean, I don't know the exact number, but the number that's in my head is that people will generally pay about 20% more for an organic product. And obviously, it is more expensive to produce an organic product, but is it 4 times more expensive to produce an organic product? I mean, why does it need to be so expensive? Because that, to me, is I would definitely buy organic butter, but I'm not going to pay 4 times what the normal price is.
Sure, and so that product's quite niche because the K2 level is quite high.
Okay.
So we set ourselves beside the flavored butter. So if you buy butter with rosemary, that sells for 20 a kilo. So that butter is 25 a kilo. So we felt that not only are we organic, but we're talking about making butter heart healthy by moving that calcium. And we felt we need that little margin above.
Yeah.
Now, certainly, we have to, at scale, we have to bring out a standard organic butter.
Yeah.
And that butter will have to come in at a very lower price point. That price point will also have to come down. Of course, it will. But, the box is quite expensive there. I think for us at the market, initially, we decided to go out quite high and see what feedback was like. But those prices will come down. And certainly the organic butter itself, if it's more mass market, will be lower again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well done. Very good.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
You mentioned about the regeneration of the land, and I'm curious about this. Does this have an implication on fertilizing? And because this would be a concern as well, I think, for health food. So I'm not sure of the technology of regenerating land.
I mean, we talk about fertilizers. There's 30,000 kilos of nitrogen over every acre of ground. That's free. There is no need for a farmer to be paying for nitrogen. All the farmer needs is the soil microbiome. They'll need the bacteria and the fungi in the soil to work, specifically in the case of nitrogen, to release that. Phosphorus, again, is another one. So if you have a healthy fungal layer, you can release fertilizers. The whole point of this is to get away from chemical inputs, because it's actually all there. It's a microbiome question, and the microbiome question is all based upon the root development of the grasses. So while we tend to chase production here in volume, not quality.
So I've no idea what's going to happen next. All I said to them was, A, pick someone to win. B, can you also give some words of encouraging advice to the runners-up? So I will leave it to the Lions. And your mics are here. Who'd like the first mic?
Hi everyone. We've just had a very, very quick but useful judging process. I hope we've been fair in the decision we've come to. Maybe a couple of words first just about all of the presenters today. Very tough job to stand here and give your product story and your life story in a few seconds, and I think they all did extremely well on that. I think we know a lot more about their businesses and their proposition and really what they're attempting to do in building those businesses. They've all got a great story to tell. I think you guys didn't get to taste it, we did, and it all tastes fantastic, so that's a brilliant start for all of them. They've all clearly identified their markets, they know who they're chasing, and they've brought really innovative, different solutions to satisfy those consumer requirements. So unfortunately, there has to be a winner, but the standard this year was really good. I know everybody says that, it sounds like a bit of a cliche, but we did have a tough choice, and Brian is going to announce now who is the winner.
Well done, everyone. So our winner was picked on innovation and ability to export. So I'm going to reveal the winner now, and our winner is Kevin with AU.
I'd like to say, obviously, it's an honour to be up here for the day, and thanks very much to everybody. We've had huge support from the local Enterprise Office and Enterprise Ireland, and loads of people along the way. If I can just say a big thank you to our LEO. We got started with SOS Ventures. They put some money into us at the start, trusting in our biotech. If anybody is interested in getting started, really please engage with your local Enterprise Office and Enterprise Ireland early on, because the mentoring is just fantastic. So thank you.
So any words of wisdom for the other guys? Do you want?
Words of wisdom. No, I mean, they were all really, really good presentations, really good products, all tasted really good. I've often been at these things and you're tasting things and they're not so great, so no, they were really good. I suppose it's just, all you guys are out there, you're all doing really well. You've started businesses, you've got sales. It's just keep going and keep evolving and keep listening to people, and you will get there. It's it was a really hard choice for the four of us to decide. So well done, all four of you.
Great. So can I just say on behalf of everyone here today, thank you to our Lions, who've done a fantastic job. So a big hand, please, to the Lions.